Today, something happened that I never thought I'd see in my career: negative oil prices. As a petroleum engineer, knowing everything that goes into producing a barrel of crude, I can't wrap my head around it. And I have to remind myself that insane short-term price swings do not reflect the fundamental value of the asset. North American oil producers will undoubtedly be scrambling to shut in production throughout their portfolios for the next few months, and possibly further into the year. As we note from the graph here, simply drilling and completing less wells has not resulted in less production. As an industry, we have become so efficient at growing production that we have literally filled the available storage capacity to the brim. Interestingly, this provides a unique opportunity for savvy subsurface specialists to obtain valuable data that usually isn't available, especially in resource play type environments, average reservoir pressure. Reservoir engineers have pursued this mythical creature for many years, telling stories of its possible existence, but sadly, its only confirmed sightings in the past 2 decades have been in the math equations. Nearly 20 years ago, I helped introduce, with my colleagues at FICAT, a new idea into the subsurface characterization community, that of using flowing data as a proxy for buildup tests to establish critical knowledge about reservoir depletion characteristics. At the time, this concept was widely embraced and has become common practice ever since then, because operators didn't want to and still don't want to shut in production, especially in tight oil and gas plays, where the shut-in time would necessarily be prohibitively long. As a result, we've had 20 years of tight oil and gas development with very little conventional pressure buildup data with which to anchor reserves estimates. Today brings about an abrupt end to this for a huge swath of low permeability North American oil resources. We now have the unique opportunity to go back into many of these wells and retrieve high quality, quiet reservoir pressure data, such as what's highlighted on this graph. This information has the potential to revolutionize our understanding of these reservoirs if we can be smart and practical about test design and data collection. To understand this better, let's go back to the fundamentals of pressure buildup tests. During production, we can measure production rate and flowing pressure as a function of time. When we shut the well in, we can then begin collecting buildup pressure measurements, usually at high frequency with a bottomhole pressure recorder. Given a long enough time, the buildup pressure stabilizes and reaches something close to average reservoir pressure. In theory, we can use this average reservoir pressure, measured at discrete points in time, throughout the well production history to estimate original oil in place, such as in the simple material balance analysis procedure depicted here. In reality, we have a broad 20-year production history throughout thousands of tight oil and gas developments in North America, with very little real reservoir pressure data to underpin our efforts to characterize them. A series of strategically placed bottomhole pressure buildup tests, implemented to coincide with the inevitable industry-wide production shutdowns, would provide key data that will help oil and gas operators optimize the development of their assets once prices have recovered. Specifically, and most importantly, interpreted buildup data can confirm hydrocarbon pore volume in an oil and gas development. It can help determine whether observed decline behavior is due to productivity loss or simply depletion, and can help identify the pathways of subsurface communication in a multi-well oil and gas development during production. So while this is undoubtedly a dark day for our industry, it has presented a unique opportunity for oil and gas operators to collect data that can help position their assets better for the inevitable recovery to come. Thanks for listening.